크리스토퍼 놀란 감독님 모시겠습니다. 예! 브라보! 예! 브라보! 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 브라보 크리스토퍼! 예.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your precious time. And since this is our first time meeting each other, please let me introduce ourselves to you.
Please.
Okay, so this is our MC, film director Hang Jun Jung,
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
and I am actress Min Ha Kim. It's a pleasure to meeting you. And this is our film critic Dong Jin Lee,
Nice to see you.
Very nice to meet you.
and she is astronomer Chae Kyung Shin,
Hello.
hello, and his physicist Sang Wook Kim.
Nice to meet you.
And this is architect Hyun Jun Yu.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
자, 우리 놀란 감독님이 진짜 여기 와 계세요. 바로 옆에 와 계신데 하나 제가 질문을 드리고 싶은 게 저희 프로그램이 어떤 프로그램인지 알고 여기 출연하기로 결정하신 건지 출연 동기가 궁금합니다.
Well, I had heard that it's a very popular program and of great importance. And I was certainly very excited to find any way to speak to Korean fans of cinema, perhaps Korean fans who might be interested in my previous work and my upcoming Oppenheimer film.
Thank you.
네, 한 가지 더 여쭤보고 싶은 게 이거 녹화 끝나고 친한 척하면서 사진 찍어줄 수 있는지.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. 네, 자 우리 박사님들, 우리 놀란 감독님을 만나면은 되게 뭐 물어보고 싶은 거, 궁금한 게 많으셨다고 얘기를 들었는데 각자 평소에 궁금했던 거, 또 영화를 보시고 궁금했던 점들을 질문을 해주시죠.
네, 여기 있는 사람들은 다 감독님의 오펜하이머 신작을 다 기쁜 마음으로 기대감을 가지고 보았고요. 또 무척이나 즐겁게 보았습니다. 이번 영화는 뭐라고 할까요? 굉장히 즐거우면서도 신선한 당혹감 같은 것이 있었습니다. 무엇보다도 어떻게 생각하면 장르의 세계 바깥에서 이런 전기 영화를, 그것도 굉장히 역사적으로나 사회적인 의미가 굉장히 큰 그런 인물을 선택해서 감독님이 영화를 만드신 건데요. 오펜하이머라는 인물을 내가 전기 영화로 만들겠다라고 결심하시게 된 가장 큰 동기가 무엇인지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
I grew up in a time in the United Kingdom of great fear of nuclear weapons. And so his story was always one that had intrigued me. I've always been drawn to films with protagonists who are complicated, who have very human flaws, and are put into ambiguous and complex situations. I like stories that ask difficult questions and don't necessarily provide easy answers. And the more I've learned about his story over the years, the more intrigued and convinced I've been that it's one of the most dramatic stories that I've encountered. And for me, the image or idea that really the most hooked me is learning of this moment in the development of the atomic bomb, whereby Oppenheimer and his close colleagues realized in the build-up to Trinity, the Trinity test of the first atomic device, that they could not eliminate the possibility that would set fire to the atmosphere and destroy the Earth.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Zero would be nice.
And to me, to be in that room with those people making that decision, to take the audience into that room and experience what is it like to take that risk on behalf of all of us and future generations and push that button, that seemed to me an incredibly dramatic moment that I wanted to realize on film.
전기영화를 만들고 어떤 한 인물을 오랜 세월 몇 년 동안 천착하셔서 이제 오펜하이머를 계속 영화로 만드신 건데요. 그러다 보면 그 인물과 자기를 계속 이렇게 전주는 어떤 순간들이 있지 않을까라는 생각을 드는데요. 뭐라고 그럴까요? 오펜하이머와 감독님 자신의 비슷한 점 이런 것들은 어떤 거라고 느끼셨는지 궁금합니다.
One of the challenges of presenting genius and intellect on film and making it involving is that the rest of us can't understand what it is to be inside the mind of somebody like Oppenheimer or Einstein. So far, well, perhaps you can, but for the rest of us to look so far into complex science and mathematics. And for me, the connection I found with Oppenheimer was he was a director. He was the director of the laboratory at Los Alamos. That was his title.
How about because this is the most important thing to ever happen in the history of the world?
And his job in those years was to bring together people who were even more brilliant and talented than he was and get them to apply their talents, their theoretical talents, to something practical and make something happen in the real world, not the world of theory. And I found a strong connection with the way in which I, as a filmmaker, bring together talented people and try to give them a focus for their efforts and how that might create something tangible, something real at the end of it for the audience to enjoy.
Well, maybe I can ask some questions to you. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you are especially focusing on some ambiguous side of people and complex, because we are all like complex person. We cannot categorize somebody into one certain group. First question is, how do you think of yourself? I mean, are you a man of complex? And is it because you want to solve the complexity and make it everything tight, or do you even more explore the complexity and make it even more complex because it is the way you think you understand the person?
I always wanted to make films. And when I look at what films do and how they tell stories, there's a necessity and a tendency for films to simplify individuals. And I've always liked characters in films who move outside of that. I've always enjoyed crime films, for example,
Yep.
film noir, the thriller. And one of the reasons I enjoy those films is the characters have to surprise you. So you have to think you know who they are, and then they have to do something that changes your perception of
So he
who
was
they
different
are.
man.
And so I think it's a strong form of characterization that interests me. And I've tried to make films with protagonists who feel relatably human, who have flaws. I certainly have flaws.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say what they
Everybody
are.
does.
But we all do, and human beings do. And I think trying to bring that to the cinematic story that you're putting forward, it makes the story richer. I think in my own life, you learn over time in making films to trust instinct. And so you have stated intentions about why you're telling a particular story or how you're trying to tell it. But you also trust that there will be other reasons for that maybe you don't fully understand about yourself. And that will make the thing richer, particularly as you involve other people in telling the story and acting in the story and helping you with it. And so, yeah, I think the complexity of human beings, is really what interesting movies are founded on.
Yeah. Yeah, two hours ago, I had an interview with Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy, and I asked Cillian that he was portraying the Oppenheimer, like who has totally opposite sides of the emotions, and I asked him, how did you, sort it out, or how did you articulate it? 왜 이래?
Also, I waited till you were looking down and then I threw them. Hi, last question?
Sorry.
Okay.
So I play Robert Oppenheimer, who we know as the father of the atomic bomb, and it kind of follows his life story.
Not kinda. He's the star, and I'm the other guy. I play Louis Lichtenstein Strauss, a Navy admiral and also one of the first chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission.
As an audience, like Oppenheimer carries like both sides of opposite emotions. How did you sort out those enormous emotions, and what was the process for you to articulating it?
There was an awful lot of research at the beginning. Yeah, Chris gave me the script in like September 21, and then we shot it in like February 22. Yeah, sometimes it's very useful to start kind of on the outside, and sometimes, other times you have to start on the inside. So for me, it was getting his kind of silhouette, getting the physicality right of him. That was important. The voice, we spent a lot of time with that, working on that. I was just walking around my basement talking to myself, for weeks. And Chris, is over every single detail, down to what watch you're wearing, what shoelaces you have, everything.
At the end of the day, it was always people that were doing these extraordinary scientific discoveries. And then there's that moral dilemma. Cillian weigh and take on that balance of, am I in regret? Am I in shame? Am I now motivated to try to stop these wheels from turning?
Yeah, he's entirely, he's very, very contradictory, very, very complex. So, I don't know, I worked very, very closely with Chris on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he told me that you and Cillian had a bunch of conversation about Oppenheimer. But even though you guys had a lot of conversation, was there any specific sequence or scenes that Cillian surprised you, like you didn't anticipate it?
I think the honest answer to that is every day on set, I was happy and excited to see him do the job so well and to own the character, to know the truth of the character so well. I think his performance in the film is very unusual and very remarkable. The other actors they really started to feel, and Robert Downey Jr. would talk about it with me and Emily Blunt, by looking into his eyes, by acting with him, they were feeling right from the beginning what a special process he was engaged on. For me, the big surprise really was to put it together in the edit suite and see the form of it as a whole and realize what he had achieved. And I think for an actor, I think it's a monumental achievement.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
미나, 좀 캐스팅해달라고 얘기해. 현실적인 문제를 말씀드려야지.
He just said, I think you have to ask you to cast yourself in a film.
I'm sorry.
이제 조금 약간 좀 무거운 질문도 하고 싶긴 한데 사실 그 오펜하이머라는 사람이 이제 저 같은 물리학자한테는 그 과학자의 어떤 사회적 책임 이제 그런 걸 상징하는 어떤 아이콘이거든요. 사실 영화에서도 이제 몇 차례 그 선택의 순간들이 있는데 비록 적이 그런 무시무시한 무기를 만든다고 해도 그것을 우리가 반드시 똑같이 만들어서 대응해야 하는가? 다 만들어진 폭탄을 실제 사용할 것인가? 이런 수많은 선택의 순간들이 있을 때 그냥 영화는 질문을 던지는 것으로 끝나지만 본인이라면 여기서 이 순간들마다 어떤 선택을 할 수 있을 것 같고 왜 그런지를 감독님의 생각을 좀 듣고 싶어요.
I think they had no choice, and I think I would have made the same decision. the Nazis were capable of and were indeed moving as fast as they could to build a bomb. And they also, bear in mind, they viewed the splitting of the atom, the releasing of this energy, as a fact of nature that was known around the world. To them, it wasn't necessarily an invention so much as a law of nature that they were revealing and that they could harness. And so I think they strongly felt that if they didn't do it, other people would. And they trusted themselves to manage that, and they trusted the American government to manage that better than other people in the world, perhaps wrongly. And I think as far as deploying the weapon, there are a lot of very, very complicated issues. And I think anyone claiming a simple answer to that is ignoring other parts of the history. What I can say is that it's very clear in the research that the scientists, they weren't in a position to know exactly the basis on which that decision was made. And so I feel this film is not an attempt to judge them. It's an attempt to understand them and understand what they thought was the best thing at the time, which doesn't necessarily mean they're right. It's a very, very complicated issue, and I think it's one that will be debated forever.
Have you heard of what your name means in Korean?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? As it is pronounced in Korean, we have two meanings for your name. One is being surprised. I really love the similarity because make people being surprised is what you're doing, right? So I think the Korean meaning really goes well with you. So that's what you're doing, right? And actually there can be a second meaning. It is controversy or dispute something, say different opinions and discuss about. So I think the second meaning also well explains what you're doing with your film. So I really let you know about the Korean meaning of your name.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I was worried for a minute. I didn't know what you were going to say.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, so now you just got two Korean words.
자, 오늘 놀란 감독님과 저희들 얘기 같이 나눠봤는데 오늘 이 대화가 어떠셨는지 궁금해요. Angry?
No, excellent. I mean, what an honor to sit with you all and have such amazing questions. And thank you so much for watching the film and taking the time to think about it as deeply as you all have. That means the world to me. So thank you.
Thank you. 아,
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
아유, 평론가님 드디어 소기의 목적을 달성하셨네요.
성덕.
저 이제 집에 갈게요.
비행기 타고 집에 가신대.
아 이제 집에
이걸로
간다고.
끝이야.
끝이야 이제.
이 사람이 하는 감독하는 일은 다른 감독과 다른 울림이 좀 있는 것 같아요. 일을 대하는 자세? 그게 되게 마음에 들어요.
그러니까 영화보다 감독님을 더 좋아하시는 것 같아, 그렇죠?
맞아요, 맞아요.
난 물리를 좋아해서 좋아해요. 응? 물리를 좋아해서 좋아.
그렇겠다. 이
천문학 홍보대사.
물리를 사랑하는 사람이라 너무 좋아.
아니라니까요, 천문학이라니까요. 천문학 홍보대사라니까.
That means the world to me. So thank you.
어우.